I already drank 2 cups of coffee, but I want to drink a third with you because normally you have coffee. This is my
I do
Hogwarts.
normally have coffee. I just finished my cup of coffee and realized I was running late, so I did not make another cup.
Oh man, I made this cup of coffee for this. It's a Hogwarts mug. It's like
nice.
That my wife bought. I'm really excited.
That is awesome. I literally just like 5 minutes before I sat down finished a cup of coffee.
Yeah, well, we got to get. I don't know how to do it, Ernie. I've done research, but I want to get the insurance panel coffee mugs.
Yeah.
And my dream is that everybody that watches will like go make their own or go get one, and then when they watch the insurance panel, they drink coffee with us.
Drink coffee. Drink coffee with their mug.
We will simultaneously make like about 100 people at the same time drink coffee if everybody does it.
Be awesome.
Which is dope.
Get some. What's the website that allows you to like do drop ship like coffee mugs and t-shirts and stuff? I don't remember what it's called now.
Shopify?
There's a bunch of them. That's not the one I'm thinking of, but there's a bunch of them. We can get ourselves a little store set up.
Yeah, it's Easter weekend.
Sell stuff at cost.
It's Easter weekend. Did you work yesterday, Nick?
I did not work yesterday. No.
Are you going to work Monday?
I probably am going to work Monday just because I normally work Mondays.
Are you working today other than this Saturday, by the way, other than right now?
No.
Are you working Sunday?
No.
So you have a good work-life balance.
I do have a good work-life balance.
You see how I did that, Nick?
I do. Also, you did not introduce the video.
No, I didn't. But people know how we do it. Welcome to the Insurance Bill, Nick Frumkin, myself. Today, we're talking about work-life balance. Let's talk about work-life balance. How long have you been selling final expense, Nick? People know this by now.
Full-time final expense since 2014.
Insurance?
A little longer than that. About a couple of years longer than that.
When I first got started, I don't know what it was like for you. My IMO or my company told me that I had to work 60 hours a week.
Yeah, sure.
You know, to make it work. And I quickly realized that there's a reason that a lot of people end up quitting is because they can't sustain that for long.
No, God, 60 hour. I mean, and you're doing 60 hours a week doing what? Like actually in the field knocking on doors or like 60 hours a week?
Their whole thing was like, driving to the first house is not
doesn't count.
Working, right?
Right. That doesn't count, right?
So it was from the time that I knocked on my first door until the time that I left my last presentation.
Started heading home.
Yep. And so
the commute doesn't count.
And the commute doesn't count. What they would tell me was like, if you haven't gotten, if you get into a door past 6 p.m. and then it goes either way, you can leave. But if you haven't been in a house past 6 p.m., like you had to stay in the field until
you got into another house. So if it's like 5:30 is when you walk out of a presentation, and
yes.
you could potentially be out there knocking on people's doors till midnight if nobody lets you in.
Yeah, I think we had a true cutoff time of like 8, right? And that was kind of like my personal thing. But yeah, sometimes I would leave one at 5:45, and I was like, I should have stayed in the house just to be past 6. But I would do it because I was told to do that, and like most people, I nearly quit.
Right. So like 90% of all agents quit in the first year, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Because they're told the same thing.
Well, yeah. 90% of all agents quit in the first year. The thing that gets talked about a lot less, although it is talked about, but it's talked about a lot less, is that of the 10% of agents that survive the first year, 90% of them will have quit by year 5.
Hang on, say that again. So 90% is going to quit the first year.
Yeah.
And then the 90% of the 10%
will also quit by year 5.
Will also quit before year 5.
Yes. So, yeah, I mean, and that's where you get I'm not a math guy. So, but I'm assuming where you get the whole 8% of agents are the only ones that survive type of a thing, or only 2% of agents survive. I don't remember. Yeah. But whatever. But but that's really how you want to think about it, is like in year one, 90% of everybody that gets their license will decide that this is not for them and go do something else. I actually pretty firmly believe that like a lot of those people who quit in year one are probably quitting because they don't want to work as hard as the job requires you to work in the first year. It's a hard job.
1,000%.
It's a hard job.
You're an entrepreneur. You have to work for yourself. You have to purchase things out of your own expense. Like, you know what I mean? Like most of the time a job is like you work and then you get paid.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to reinvest back into your job.
Yes.
This, you have to reinvest back in your job. And I'm seeing it happen now. Like right now, we're doing this thing where, you know, we were financing leads for agents to take inbound transfers. And they essentially, you know, one live transfer is like $35, right? Which is a lot. But they would probably do about 25 transfers a week over the phone. Well, instead of taking the money out of their commissions and just giving them the leads, we now gave them all of it. We didn't do any financing. And we said, hey, here's your entire commission check. If you want more leads for next week, pay $875.
Right.
Even though it's the same math, most of the agents
don't want to do it.
Are very scared. They're like, wait a minute, what if I don't make sales? You've been doing it for 6 months.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
It's the same math, but there's something that goes on the mind that like, oh, I have to actually pay.
Right.
And
yeah,
a lot of people aren't cut out for that.
Right. It's psychologically demanding for a lot of people. And the hardest part about our job is that it's psychologically demanding, right? Like what we do is not physically difficult, but it's a psychologically demanding job. You know, like JD, frequent guest of the show, likes to say that, you know, when he started working, his work career started building tires for Goodyear. And, you know, like on his worst day selling insurance, it's not building tires. You know, right? It's
every time that I remember when I was in the field full time, and I went in the field last week. I'll have you know, wrote 3K AP in one day. Nice. We'll talk about that. Whenever I was in the field like full time, and I was like, man, today sucked. Like it really, like I didn't sell anything, and today was the worst day. I was like, wait, some guy is out there, and his job is to stand behind the elephant and shovel poop.
Right.
It's not that bad.
Right. It's not that bad. You know, or you know, be one of those guys dancing in like the full bear costume on the side of the road, holding a sign saying, you know, look at new. Yeah, like there's tons of really crappy jobs out there. This is not one of them. This is not a physically demanding job, but it's a hard job. You have to mentally tough it out, and you have to make yourself go to work and all of that stuff that we talk about all the time and other people talk about all the time, and agents hear to death. They hear to death. You got to go to work. The hardest door to get through is your front door, all of it, right? But I firmly believe that the reason why agents don't make it to year 5 is because they are told, like you were, you got to grind. You know, got to work like there's somebody 24 hours a day on your tail telling you that you're trying to put you out of business. You got to live for the grind, worship the work. You put in 80 hours a week, 90 hours a week.
Yeah.
You know, like all of it, right? Like, and this is stuff you hear, you see, there's memes, you know, like, you know, of like, I can work harder than you. I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then I go to work on Saturday and Sunday. And then in the evenings, I have my side hustle.
If your IMO tells you on 4th of July to go knock doors because everybody's going to be home,
God, that's terrible.
You should run. If they say, hey, it's Easter Sunday this week, you should be out doing something because everybody's going to be home and you're going to sell the whole family, you should run.
You should run. First off, like, good God, imagine if somebody walked up to your door on Easter Sunday, knocked on your door and tried to come in and sell you insurance. 1. But 2, like, you should have a personal life.
Yes.
I mean, if you're single, if you don't have any friends, if you don't have any family, and you're all by yourself in this world and you're completely all alone, yeah, okay, go work, do whatever. But like, ideally, you should have hobbies. Ideally, you should have friends, family members, people that you want to see, people that give you a reason to want to go out and work hard.
Yeah.
And I saw somebody on Facebook say recently, as in like within the last hour, work-life balance is the password for the lazy. And I understand where they're coming from, because lots and lots and lots of people think work-life balance means I don't have to work, which is not what it means. It means there's balance, right? It means, to borrow a phrase from Travis Tubbs, when it's time to go to work, you are in Terminator mode.
Yes.
All you do is work when it is time to work. And when it is time to not work, you don't work.
Exactly.
And you're home.
Yes.
And you're with your friends, or you're with your family, or you're doing a hobby, or you're doing whatever makes your life fun. Like, you can make a lot of money at this job and it doesn't do you any good if it's just sitting in the bank, because all you do all day long every day is work.
Also, sorry.
Yeah.
If you have that mentality and you're teaching that and you're an upline, you'll never get away from it. I had to slowly, because when I was first building my team, I'm like, I'm gonna stay up all the time, like, call me anytime. And I remember like 9:00 at night, my phone would ring because someone was in the house, like, doing an application, and my wife would be like, oh, right. And now, like, when people call me like on a Saturday and they're in a house, like, Matt, I am so sorry. I tried calling other people. Like, I really need your help. And I don't mind doing that, but there's got to be a balance. They got to understand that, like, and I want them to not have to work on a Saturday. And some people are going to need to make extra income. If you didn't hit your goals, then do what you need to do. That's part of being an entrepreneur.
Sure.
But also, like, you should be teaching your agents, or you should be taught that, Rick, you're right. When you're in work mode, you're in Terminator mode. But when you're done, you're done.
And then go home.
Go home.
Go home. Stop working for a little bit. Do something fun. Have balance.
Because when you crash, and I promise you it's coming, the crash will take you out longer than the work-life balance will.
Oh, absolutely. You'll burn yourself out and like not be able to work for a month.
Yeah.
Or then you'll suddenly stop closing stuff. Right.
Yeah.
This is the reason why people end up going out of business. They grind and they grind and they grind, and then they get tired, and they're grinding and grinding and grinding, and then suddenly it's going a little wrong, and then they're grinding harder, and then suddenly it's going a lot wrong, because everybody that you sit down with can feel it when you're pushing. They all feel you pushing, and you become less trustworthy, and you become a little scary, and it goes bad, and you don't do that. Take a break, rest, relax. You deserve it. Have goals. Have specific, attainable weekly goals.
Obtainable.
So that you don't drive yourself. Yeah, so that you're not driving yourself nuts. They should be difficult to hit. Like, you should have to push yourself to hit your goals, but they shouldn't be impossible. Your goal should not be write $40,000 in 1 week. Your goal should be like write $4,000 in 1 week. If you write $4,000 in 1 week, every single week for 52 weeks a year, which, by the way, you should not be working 52 weeks a year. But if you do, you'll have made a couple $100,000 that year. That's good money by anybody's stretch of the imagination. You can up your goals the next year. I remember when I was first transitioning out of being a captive agent, before I started selling Final Expense. I was briefly working for a financial services firm who did like high-level retirement planning and like really big, like complicated IULs and like assets under management.
Big whole life policies, yeah.
Yeah, like big, like whale hunting type stuff.
Yeah.
Um, it wasn't for me. I don't like doing that kind of planning. But one of the things that I thought was really great that the guy that ran this agency said was, he's like, every single person who works for me, 1 week every quarter, you are forced to take time off. You don't have to take the whole week, but you must take at minimum a 4-day vacation every quarter. Without question, you're not allowed to work a full week, 1 week out of every quarter. And then at least once a year, you have to take 2 weeks, consecutive weeks off, because you just have to.
Yeah.
Because your brain needs the rest. You'll be better, you'll sell more, you'll be sharper. And he's like, it's selfish. I'll do better. As the person who makes money off of you, I will do better because you will do better.
Correct. I'm taking a whole month here soon.
Nice.
I'm going to Romania.
Nice.
Lori got a green card, so we can travel.
That's awesome.
So the first thing we did was like book 2 tickets to Romania.
Heck yeah.
You know,
Romania is supposed to be beautiful.
And the cool part, and I was like a little worried, you know, I was like, man, like a whole month, like even I was like a month, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
And I talked to Tyler, you know, owner of Innovative, and he was like, that's awesome, dude. Like, go have fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like, that's amazing. Like, you should definitely go do that. He was like, is a month going to be enough? And I was like, yeah, a month's going to be enough. Like, I don't want to work for a month, right?
Right.
He was like, you deserve it. You earned it.
Absolutely.
You know, you work your tail off. Go enjoy your life. Enjoy your life.
Yeah. I mean, it's all there is to it, right? You've got to find, I don't know, like you've got to find a reason outside of selling insurance to want to sell insurance. Like you've got to have a good quality goal for why you're doing, like not goal, a good quality why, I suppose. We're kind of circling back on stuff we've talked about and kind of putting an end cap on stuff we've talked about over the last several videos. But, you know, you've got to have a reason to get up and get out and go to work every day. And then when you're working, you've got to put the effort in. You've got to burn the calories. You got to try, and work with focus and determination. You know, when it's your day in the field, you're only doing that. You're not doing that and running errands and trying to set appointments and, you know, working on your house and like you're not doing all of these things. It is. But
go ahead.
You know, and then no. But and then you come home and you do home stuff, you know, with a schedule, and you plan your life, and it can be a very predictable, planned life. I know how much money I make every month. I know exactly how much money. I know how much money I'm going to make this month next year.
Yeah.
You know, I know what my schedule is going to look like 2 years from now. You know, I can book something 2 years out because I know what my schedule is going to be, because it's always the same.
Aside from Corona, but that's...
Well, yeah, I mean, stuff unpredictable. I mean, life happens, right?
But you know where you're going to be. You know what you're going to be doing. You're going to be ordering leads.
Yeah.
Right? Every week.
Yeah. Every week.
And you know what carrier trips you're going to go on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I pencil them in. I decide when they get announced. I decide if that's something I want to go for. And then I just write it into my calendar. It's happening.
Exactly.
Right.
Because you know how much business you need to write. You know how much you need to write every week, how many leads you need, and all that stuff.
Yes.
It's like a very simplistic business. It's one big math equation. And a lot of new agents are told differently.
Right.
And they shouldn't be. If you're watching this, if you're brand new, you know, the business is simple. For final expense.
Yeah.
Go get 20, maybe 25 direct mail leads a week, which, you know, you can either get a cost per lead or you can drop X amount of per thousand, right? The average return rate is 1.2 or 1.1 right now. So you need to drop about 2,000 pieces of mail for a typical final expense lead.
Trending back upwards, finally.
Trending back upwards, thankfully.
Yeah. It was down for 6 months or so. But
yeah,
it was under 1% for a while.
Yeah, but it's going there. So just drop 2,000, right? You get about 20 leads a week. Schedule schedule 15 appointments, realize that some people are going to no-show you, sit down with 12 to 13 people, and close 6 to 7 pieces of business if you're average.
Yeah. And I mean, like, if you get stood up, somebody no-shows you, go knock on a couple of doors while you're waiting. Don't sit around and waste time. You know, that's like what that Terminator mode means, you know?
Exactly.
You're not wasting time. You're not like, oh, somebody stood me up, so I'm going to go take a late lunch or a long lunch.
Well, yeah, and then you work in your area, like someone stood you up in your area, and you're like, oh, I'm going to go check at the house. I got to work on my CRM. And then all of a sudden you're working, and then all of a sudden you forget about your other appointments. Like, oh, I want to get there.
Yeah, that's no good either.
And then you waste the day.
Yeah, that's no good either. Don't do that. You know, also don't go sell something first thing in the morning on your first appointment and then say, haha, I made $1,000 and go home, you know, and blow off the rest of your appointments, which agents do that too. I mean, like, don't do that stuff.
That's why I like to work about an hour from my house.
Yeah.
Because I'm inherently lazy. I'm that agent, right? Like, oh, I made my money for the day. I can do that tomorrow, right? And then I would go home. So I forced myself to work like 45 minutes to an hour out from my house.
Sure.
So I couldn't do that.
Yeah, makes a ton of sense. And you're not the only agent that I've heard that says that, you know, and you don't have to. You got to know yourself, right? Like I work reasonably far from home, but that's because like those are areas that I like. And I've just, especially recently, I've been just slashing areas out of my territory that I just don't want to work in. Because it takes me far too long to circle my whole lead area. Like it took me like 18 months this last time. It was far too long. But coronavirus added time to that. But still, but you gotta, whatever works for you, and everybody's different and everybody's motivated by different things, right? You know, but for your own sanity, for your own mental health, at the very least, take 2 days in a row off every week. You know, make it Saturday and Sunday. That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Saturday, you know, that's traditional. That's the weekend. But like 2 days in a row where you're not doing insurance related activities.
Yeah.
Just take a break. You'll do better. You'll sell better.
I used to like to take off on Friday at like 3:00.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to get away from the traffic. I wanted to get home before the traffic. I wanted to pour my first beer and log into my video game. I like to play video games. You know, those are things I enjoy to do. You like to play guitar?
Yeah. I play music. You know, I play music. We travel. You know, I've got a kid. You know, we've got. You know, we. Like,
you know what you should do? I'm an advocate for this right now because I'm enjoying it. Is we play like escape rooms.
Oh, nice!
Almost like every week with like a group of friends.
Nice. That's a good.
It's like $100 for 4 people, right? And I've got enough money to do that, and so everybody's like, "Man, thanks so much for paying." It's like, "Oh, whatever." I just enjoy spending the hour, you know, an hour, and then we go to dinner and all that stuff, and that's like every Saturday, and it's a lot of fun, you know. But I'm telling you this, if your IMO is telling you things like you need to work 60 hours a week, you're going to burn out. You're going to leave this business. There's a season for it, and maybe in the first year you can grind a little bit harder because it is a little bit tougher to make it.
Yeah.
But that's because you're spending the time honing your skills as a salesperson.
Right. Well, and that's where like specific goals come in to help keep you from like spinning your wheels, right? Like and this doesn't work for everybody, but I like focusing on the number of presentations that I've given. And if I've given 12 presentations a week in a week, and for some reason that week I've only written 2 policies out of the 12 that I presented to, and I actually presented to 12, like I didn't just have 12 booked and like 10 of them said, hey, get out of here, and didn't let me present. But I actually presented and I attempted to close, and you know, I rebutted a couple of objections, and stuff didn't close. I only write 2 policies. I give myself permission. You know, I'm done. I saw 12 people. Next week will be better.
That doesn't work for everybody.
That doesn't work for everybody. But if you've got a specific goal, because I know if that happens, that's a weird freak fluke of a thing. And next week will be better. And next week I'll probably write every single person that I see because the numbers will work out.
Yeah. So
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Mine was always policies, like written. It was
that works too.
It was 6 when I was like hard in the field, and then it became like 5. And so when I would write 5 deals, I was like, all right, I'm on the next. And child policies don't count. Don't be sending no $12 policies and call them a policy. You know,
right.
Filing expense presentation, you're doing a policy on, you know, once I did 5, some would be small, some would be big, but the average was like $732, I believe it was for me.
Sure.
I would write the amount of business that I needed to write for the week. And then, you know, that would be like, for me, Wednesday, I would typically be done. And then I would spend the rest of the week recruiting because I wanted to do that.
Right.
And that was early on. Now I have an awesome wife, a lot of friends, and we enjoy doing stuff. And I still work, you know, definitely probably 40 or 50 hours a week. I still grind, but having the work-life balance, like, you know, if your phone rings and your dogs are killing me. If your phone rings and it's a client, even if it's a client, it's at 7 o'clock at night because they want to call and like scream at you, wait until the next day. Don't cloud your mind and ruin your night because you think that you have to pick up the phone right then for that business.
Yeah. You're home. Business hours are done. Turn your phone.
Guess what?
If you can have a Google Voice number or something that is, or an 800 number or whatever, that's a separate number that you can actually put on Do Not Disturb, so you don't even know your phone rings until you turn it back on the next morning. That's even better.
And when you call your client and you just be real with them and go, "Hey, sorry, Miss Jones, I missed your call. I was out doing an escape room with my friends." They'll be like, "Oh, that's awesome! Like, well, that was a lot of fun." Right. They don't care. They're not going to be like, "You didn't answer me. You're my agent. You're supposed to answer my phone call at 8 o'clock." They don't care.
No. They understand what business hours are. They're calling you at 8 o'clock because that's when they're thinking about it, and they're not expecting you to answer the phone.
Correct.
You know, they're right. Another way to set your goals, like I go by presentations. You used to go by number of apps written. Another way to set your goals that a lot of people do frequently, and I used to do, is by total AP written. You know, I used to set my weekly goal at 4,000 AP. And if I wrote 4,000 AP on Monday, I took the rest of the week off. If I wrote 4,000 AP and it took me till Friday, it took me till Friday.
What if something fell off? Would you subtract it? I've always wondered that about you.
I mean, it depends. Like, well,
if it was recent, like if it was in the last,
like if it was in that week, yeah, I would take it off. It doesn't count.
Okay.
But so the reason I stopped using that system, honestly, is because I was finding that as I got better at it, I just wasn't presenting enough. And I really do. I think, I think you need to talk to a certain number of people every single week. Otherwise, you start to lose the advantage of the law of large numbers, and that maybe potentially mathematically doesn't actually work out, but I don't know. It's been ingrained deeply enough into me that it works for me.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to throw a toy for my dog. So
if you have 12 presentations, let's just say an average of 45 minutes, maybe an hour. Sorry. Let's just call it an hour, right? That's 12 hours. That's 12 hours for presenting. You spend another 4 hours a week, maybe setting appointments. Maybe you can do it in like 2 hours or less. I've seen you do it on a Saturday at like.
Okay.
I'm like, hey, you want to shoot a video? You're like, yeah, I got my appointments. I'll call you in like an hour, and it's like 9 o'clock. You're like, all right, I'm done. It's like 10:30.
Right.
I'm rounding these numbers up. It's called 4 hours.
Sure.
You spend a couple hours driving, and then most of the stuff is like follow-up work and all that other stuff. Like, you probably realistically work 30 to 40 hours a week, maybe.
Yeah,
and that's a hard push.
Yeah.
And you have a great work-life balance.
Yes.
We said in Damon's video, you eat with your kid every night. Mm-hmm. Your wife does not have to work. So she can go do things with your kid whenever you're working and you can't be there. You know, she can do all those things and not have to worry about money. And you got a great work-life balance. Like, that's like rounding those numbers up. It's probably less than that of what you actually like really, really do. Yeah. I don't see where anybody can add it all up. Like, I'm working 70 hours a week doing final expense. If you work in this business for 40 hours, like truly work, like in
Like
a
really
house,
work. Yeah.
in a house, like talking to a client or like setting appointments or stuff, you will be mentally burnt out.
Right. I like I like working a really long Monday because I like to have the pressure off me for the rest of the week. Having a really full day of appointments takes the pressure off of me for that day. And then the business that I write that day makes the rest of the week feel very relaxed also. It's, for me, a good system. But honest to God, like if I run 10, 11, sometimes 12 appointments on a Monday, um, on Tuesday, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Like, on Tuesday, I'm sort of worn out. And a lot of Tuesday is spent just sort of resting because it's mentally exhausting. You're on the entire time when you're doing
Yeah.
this.
And let's just say that you talked with 8 of those people and they each had a different situation. You had to think about every situation and what was the best thing for them. And if I asked you Tuesday what happened, you're not going to remember what happened with every single one because it was a lot.
Yeah.
You know,
everybody's got a different situation. Some of them have insurance, some of them don't have insurance. Some of them, are super nice. Some of them are jerks. Some of them, it's a whole
bad health, all these different things. And that's mentally exhausting thinking about all I know it doesn't sound like a lot, what do I do in every situation? Like, you're there, it's not hard. But when you're thinking about what happened in the previous one and you're in the next one, and then you're like thinking about the 3 or 4 behind that, and then that person's calling you because like they think something's wrong, and it's like there's a lot going on that one day. Like, I can get how it's exhausting. Running 12 appointments, I don't know how you do it in one day. That's definitely Terminator mode. But I also understand why you take off. You don't take off on Tuesday. You rest on Tuesday, and you set whatever you need to set for Wednesday,
right,
if you need to.
if I need to, and I need to frequently. Like, I usually won't get 12 presentations in on a Monday. That's a lot. But if I get like 8 or 9, I'm pretty happy. And then, I need like 4 for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know.
Comment,
so there's a lot of ways to do it. But
comment down below. What do you enjoy doing after selling final expense? What do you enjoy doing when you're not working? And and ask yourself this. You don't have to type in the comments. When was the last time you spent doing that instead of working? And if you can't remember, take off soon.
Take some time. It's okay. You'll probably come back better.
And if your upline or your manager or whoever you want to call that person, your mentor, you're like, hey man, I think I'm going to take a few days off, and they go, wait a second, you should be grinding.
Yeah,
that's not great. They don't. I'm telling you, they don't care about you.
Yeah,
they want to make money off of you, and I get it. But they should be excited when you say, hey, I want to take some time off. They're like, that's awesome, you deserve it. If they don't say that, you need to run.
Yeah.
I think we're wrapped up.
Yeah.
And that's a short video today.
Oh, we got more out of this topic than I thought we were going to be able to. So,
well, it's
still 40 minutes.
It's super important though.
It is. I agree.
This could be, if you're watching this, it could be the most important 30 to 40 minute video you watch, just for 2 guys who don't make any money off of this are telling you to just breathe.
Yeah.
And enjoy your life. And it becomes so much easier, so much clearer. I was in a house the other day. I went in the house in the field the other day and sold about $3,000 in one house, right? Because I even told the lady, because she had so many policies, I was like, look, I got to come back later. This is too much at one time. She had 7 policies. She had insurance on everybody. And it was like, I was in the house for a long time and I was selling all these policies, and I was with the daughter who she had policies on. And I was like, look, this is too much. I got to come back on Monday because this is ridiculous. And she was like, you a real one. She was like, I can tell you a real one because, you don't even want to sell right now. She's like, you want to come back Monday? That's cool with me. Like, we'll have everything ready for you. And we sold like $3,000 before we left.
Yeah.
There's going to be more, but I was even like, I'm tired. We have been at this for too long. We called all these insurance carriers, got all the, I had all my flips, and I'm like, we're going to do this one with this one, this one, this one. And after the 5th policy, I was like,
you got to take breaks sometime. Yeah.
No mas. And I was like, it was Thursday, and I was like, look, Good Friday's not going to be there. Like, I'm not going to work Saturday. I'm not going to work Sunday. So I'll be here Monday. And they're like, when can you come? Because we need to get this fixed. And that client was okay with that.
Yeah.
So just breathe. Just breathe. Enjoy your life. Enjoy working is the thing. Enjoy working. Enjoy your life. It's a grind, but it shouldn't be a struggle.
And once you get good at it, it shouldn't even be a grind. Like the nice thing about this job is that it allows you to have a lifestyle that like doctors and lawyers get to have. Like, but you don't have to go to law school. You don't have to go to med school. All you have to do is put in a couple of years worth of work learning how to do this job. And once you've learned how to do it, like,
I hope this video finds you well. Somebody, I talked to my preacher one time. I think I told the story. Talked to my preacher one time, and I was like, you study, like you get ready for this presentation that you have for like the 1 or 2 hours that you do it on a Sunday for the whole week. That's not the only thing you do, but like he is getting ready for the sermon on Sunday.
Right.
And you do the whole sermon, the whole bit, and you always have an altar call. How many people are you trying to help every single week? You know what his answer was?
What?
One person. If I can get across to one person how important this is, right? I call it a job well done for the week.
Nice.
We do this every week for about 300 listeners. If one person gets it, and I unlock that thing, or you unlock that thing for that person because you said something and I said something, that's a job well done.
Absolutely.
That's the point.
Absolutely.
That's the point of the videos that we shoot. It's not there's not some grandiose, like, big thing that you're going to learn. It's teaching you the things that, I kind of like view it as like, we're your mentors, but we don't make money off of you. We just want to help you. We just want you to have that work-life balance. We want you to make a ton of money and enjoy your life. So I hope this video finds you well. If you got something from it, let us know in the comments. Subscribe.
Absolutely.
Subscribe, and then go watch the other videos, because we've done some fire content in the last like 2 weeks. The one we did with the car salesman, which, by the way, they emailed us back, which is awesome. Super awesome. Incredible content. Like, that is some really good
cool guys
sales stuff that you need to watch. So go watch that. If you want sales tips, go watch that video, because Nick and I break it down. You should go watch that. Like, comment, subscribe, dab on them.
See you later.